After urinating, she found out it was a grave she urinated on. With fears, she said to the grave, "Please, I didn't mean to disrespect you or disturb your resting place. Forgive me, I do not know this is a grave." Mercy was a young woman full of dreams and determination. She was serving as a National Youth Service Corps member in Uturu village. Although she enjoyed the simplicity of village life, she often felt out of place. The villagers were kind, but she barely knew anyone, and the traditions sometimes left her confused. One afternoon, Mercy decided to visit the village market to buy foodstuffs. The sun was high and the journey back to her lodge was exhausting. On her way, she suddenly felt pressed and needed to urinate. She looked around but saw no bathroom nearby. Desperate, she ducked into a small bush by the roadside, not paying attention to her surroundings. After she finished, she turned around and froze. Right there on the ground was a grave. The dirt was uneven, and a wooden cross stuck out, marking the spot. Mercy gasped in fear. "I urinated on a grave," she whispered, her heart pounding. Terrified, she spoke softly to the grave, trembling as she did. "Please, I didn't mean to disrespect you or disturb your resting place. Forgive me, I didn't know this was a grave." Without waiting another second, she ran back to their camp, grabbed the door of her room with force and rushed in. Her roommate became worried as Grace peeped through the window to see who is after her. When she saw nothing, she asked her, "Mercy, who is after you?" "I urinated on someone's grave." Her two roommates burst out in laughter. "Really? Is that why you are running like this?" And they laughed again. "This is not a joke. I urinated on someone's grave. He or she might come after me." "Mercy, calm down. You see all these folktale and moonlight stories your grandma tells you in the village is causing more harm than good to you. Why will you ever think that the person will come after you? Chill out. Nothing is happening." Victoria chimed in, still laughing. "Do you know how many times I've peed near my grandmother's grave? Nobody has even chased me. You are fine." Mercy couldn't shake off the fear. That night, she stayed awake, her heart racing at every sound: the crack of the wooden door, the chimes of crickets, even the rustling of leaves outside made her jump. When the sun finally rose, she felt a bit better. Still worried, she decided to visit her boyfriend, Daniel. Daniel was a calm, confident man who always knew how to ease her fears. When she told him the story, he chuckled. "Mercy, you worry too much," he said. "If spirits were that petty, everyone in this village would be haunted by now. Trust me, nothing will happen to you. You are a stranger here. You are a stranger here anyway. The spirit doesn't know you." His words reassured her, and for the first time in hours, she smiled. "You are right," she said. Feeling more at ease, she returned to her lodge, lay down and closed her eyes for some rest. Just as she was drifting up, something soft brushed her leg. She screamed and jumped out of bed, only to see a rat scurry across the floor. Her roommate laughed again. "Mercy, you are too jumpy." Grace teased. Mercy sighed and shook her head. "I won't let fear control me anymore," she muttered. That night, Mercy fell into a deep sleep, but her rest was interrupted by a vivid dream. She saw a tall, beautiful woman standing in front of her, smiling kindly. "Who are you?" Mercy asked, her voice shaky. The woman's smile didn't fade. My name is Mimi. My daughter's name is Angel Nicholas. She's a student in your school. In just 1D, my husband's name is Nicholas. Macy frowned, confused. Why are you telling me this? Mimi's expression grew serious. I need your help. My husband's life is in danger. His elder brother Andrew wants to kill him and take his wealth. If Andrew succeeds, my daughter won't be saved. Please, you must warn my husband. Tell him not to go on the journey he has planned with Andrew. His life depends on it. Macy went to school the next day and traced the name. She found a beautiful 10-year-old girl by the name Angel Nicholas. Macy asked the girl, "What is your father's name?" She said, "Nicholas." "And your mother's name?" She said, "Mimi." Macy stood frozen for a moment as little Angel stared up at her with wide, curious eyes. The name Mimi rang in Macy's mind like an echo. Still, she composed herself and asked, "Angel, where is your mother?" Angel's cheerful face dimmed. "She's gone. She died 3 years ago. Her grave is behind our house." Macy felt her heart rate. "Behind your house? Can you show me?" Angel nodded and led her through a narrow path near the school, past the market and towards a quiet compound. At the edge of the compound stood a small, overgrown bush with a long grave. Macy's breath caught in her throat as she stared at the inscription. "Mimi Nicholas, a loving mother and wife. May her soul rest in peace." It was the very grave she had urinated on unknowingly. Her legs went weak, but she held onto the wooden fence nearby to steady herself. Angel turned to Macy. "Why do you want to see my mother's grave?" Macy forced a smile and knelt to Angel's level. "Your mother told me something very important in a dream. She wants me to protect your father." Angel's eyes widened. "You can talk to my mother? How?" Macy gently took her hand. "Sometimes, the ones we love find a way to speak to us, even after they are gone. But we must act quickly. Your Uncle Andrew is planning something very dangerous." Angel's face twisted in fear. "Uncle Andrew? But he's always nice to us." Macy didn't want to scare the girl, so she said calmly, "Sometimes people hide their true intention. Trust me, your mother wants to keep your father safe." The next day, Macy gathered her courage and went to Nicholas' home. Angel's father was a tall, kind-looking man in his late 30s. He welcomed Macy politely, but was surprised by her sudden visit. After some hesitation, Macy explained the dream. "Sir, I know this might sound strange, but I need you to be careful. Your brother Andrew, he might be planning to harm you." Nicholas laughed nervously. "Andrew? No, that's impossible. We have always been close." But Macy pressed on. "Please, just don't go on any trip with him for now. If you don't believe me, do it for Angel. Your wife asked me to deliver this message." Nicholas looked at Macy with a mix of confusion and gratitude. "All right, if it makes you feel better, I will cancel the trip we planned for tomorrow." The following day, news broke in the village that Andrew had been arrested. He was caught trying to bribe a local herbalist to create a deadly poison. The target, his younger brother Nicholas. Nicholas was shaken to his core. He came to Macy's lodge that evening, his face pale with disbelief. "You were right," he said. "Andrew confessed everything. I don't know how to thank you." Macy smiled softly. "It wasn't me. It was Mimi. She's still watching over you and Angel." Months passed. and Nicholas and Mercy grew close. He admired her bravery and kindness, while she admired his devotion to his daughter. Slowly, their relationship blossomed into love. One evening, under the soft glow of the moonlight, Nicholas proposed to Mercy. "You have done so much for my family. You have brought us peace and protected us in ways I can't even explain. Will you allow me to spend the rest of my life making you as happy as you have made us?" Tears welled in Mercy's eyes as she nodded, "Yes, I will." They married in a joyful ceremony attended by the entire village. Mercy became a loving stepmother to Angel, who adored her dearly. And though Mimi was no longer with them, Mercy often felt her presence, as if she was smiling down on them, happy that her family was safe and loved. From that day on, Mercy believed that even the smallest action, whether intention or not, could lead to profound change. And every time she walked past Mimi's grave, she would smile and say, "Thank you." Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.